Hello. Uh, in this video, we'll talk about nested loops. Okay. So what is the nested loop? Nested loops means like basically we have a loop inside another loop. Okay. Python actually allows us to use one loop inside another loop, and we call them nested loop. Where's the other loop is going to go? Where's the other loop is going to be? It's going to be part of the body of the other loop. Okay, so when we have nested loops, we will have two loops. One of them is going to be the outer loop, and the other one that's going to be inside it in the body of the outer loop is going to be the inner loop. Okay, so here is the syntax for it. Okay, so if we have nested for loops, that means that we have two for loops. This is the outer loop. Okay, and inside the body, this block is the body of this for loop. Inside it we have another for loop. Okay, so that's how it looks like in using for loops. And also the inner loop, it's going to have its own statements over here. It's going to have its own block. So what does that mean? That means every time I go through this for loop, which is the outer one, this variable, it's going to take one value from the sequence. And when I execute the body of the outer loop, I'm going to come to this inner loop, and it's going to have its own variable, which is going to take a value from the sequence, and it's going to be executed until it's done. Then I go to another variable, and so on and so forth. Once I'm done with all the variables I have, all the values or all the items of my sequence, I will continue the rest of, if there is any statements for the outer loop, then I will go back again here and change the value to the next item of the sequence. Okay, and here is the while loop. It's very similar concept. We have an outer loop and we have inner loop. Okay, so the same thing. So for one time execution for this loop, this inner loop is going to execute completely and finish, and then go back again to the next value, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when it comes to nested loops, it's okay to have mix and match between them. So you may have the outer loop is for loop and the inner loop is a while loop, and vice versa. Okay, they don't have to match all of them together. Here's an example of having two loops, okay, or nested loops. A for loop inside another for loop. Okay, so as you see over here, we have different variable. This one, I, is going to take the values 1 and 2. J is going to take 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and each time I'm just going to print it. Okay, let's take a look over here and trace what is going to be the values. Okay, so first time when I execute this code, I is going to be assigned to 1, which is the first value, and then I'm going to go inside. So J is going to start with 1, as you see it over here. Okay, so when I print this statement, I and J, is going to print 1 and 1. And then what's going to happen? I'm going to go back again to the J. J is going to be 2. I did not change at all. Okay, I still 1. Take a look at that. I still 1. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to print 1 and 2. Then I'm going to go back again. Do I still have values for the J? Yes. What is it? 3. Okay, I'm going to go inside the print statement to print it out. Go back again to the 4, the inner one. I found out J tried all the items in the range function. I'm going to skip it, go back again to my outer loop. I is going to change to number 2, and then go inside the inner for loop. J is going to reset from the beginning, is going to be 1, and then 2 and 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, and that's it. So I exit the second loop, the inner loop, then I go back again to the outer loop. I found out, okay, that's it. I took all the possible values, which is 1 and 2, and I'm done. So the program is going to print 1 and 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 1, 2 and 2, 2 and 3. Here is the similar example, but using the while loop. Okay, so I started the J. Remember, the while loop, we always have to initialize. Okay, otherwise we're going to have the problem with infinity loop. Okay, so I initialize the value for the outer loop, which in my example is x. I said x equal to 1, while x is less than 4. Execute this body, and part of it at the end, I have to make sure that I change the value of x by increasing it by 1. Otherwise, I will never exit this while loop. Okay, and inside the body over here of the outer while loop, I have a variable that will help me to execute and get out of the while loop, the inner one, and I assign it, reset it to j equal to 1. And while j is less than 3, print x and j. And don't forget, for the inner loop, you also need to update the value of j. Okay? And once I'm done with this for loop, I'm going to go back again here and continue the rest of the outer loop. Okay? So first, I'm going to start j equal to x equal to 1. And I'm going to go enter here. Yes, it's less than 4. J equal to 1. Yes, that's good. I go over here. Is 1 less than 3? Yes, it is. Print out x and j. So it's going to print out 1 and 1. And then what I'm going to do, increase the j by 1. So j is going to be 2. Now I'm going to go back again to the inner loop, test it again. Is 2 less than 3? Yes. Print 1 and 2. Increase it. Now j is 3. Go back again here. Is 3 less than 3? No. I'm going to exit the inner loop and I'm going to go to the x. I'm going to increase it by 1. So x is going to be 2. Is 2 less than 4? Yes. Go inside. Reset j by make it equal to 1. Is 1 less than 3? Yes. Print 2 and 1. Increase j, make it 2. And then go back again to the while loop. Is j less than 3? Yes. Print 2 and 2. Increase j by 1. Now j is 3. Go back again here. Is 3 less than 3? No. I'm going to exit the inner loop. I'm going to continue the body of the outer loop, which increases x by 1. So x now it's 3. I'm going to go back again here. Is 3 less than 4? Yes. Go inside here. Reset j to 1. Is 1 less than 3? Yes. Print 3 and 1. Don't forget to increase the j by 1. Now j is 2. Go back again here. Is 2 less than 3? Yes. Print 3 and 2. Increase j by 1, which is 3 now. Test it. Is 3 less than 3? No. I'm going to skip over here. Increase x by 1. X is going to be 4 right now. I'm going to come to the while loop. Is 4 less than 4? No, that's not true. I'm going to skip the body and continue to the rest of the program if I have any. Okay. Here is another example where I mix them. Very similar. So I mix and match the two loops. So I have the first one is a while loop. The second one is a for loop. Okay. So the same concept. So this one is going to be initialized x with 1. 1 is less than 4. Before I finish the loop, I have to increase the x to make sure that I can get out of the while loop. Inside it, I have a for loop. Every time I go there, j is going to take one of the numbers over here, the sequences. It's going to be 1 and 2. That's it. It's not going to be 3. And then I'm going to print it. Very similar to what we saw in the previous two examples. Okay. Here is an example, another example, kind of like more handy example. It says here in this example, ask the user to enter a number and then print all the numbers less than that number. The process will continue until the user enters 0. Okay. So first, what the program is going to ask the program is going to ask the user to input a number. So let's assume the user input 5. 5 is not equal to 0, which is good. So what I'm going to say for y in range of 1 until 5. Why until 5? Because I want to print the numbers below 5, not the 5. Okay. If I want to print 5 and all the numbers below it, I have to say range 1 to x plus 1. Okay. So what I'm going to do over here, y is going to take first 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to print the y, and then I'm going to go back again. Y is going to take the other value. Actually, this line, I want you to ignore this line. We don't need this line. Okay. And then after I finish the for loop, the inner for loop, I'm going to ask the user again if the user wants to input another number. If the user wants to quit, the user can input 0 and the program is going to quit. If the user inputs another number, as you see over here in this example 2, it's going to go back again here and it's going to execute the inner loop. Okay. Here is different examples over here, and I want you to take a look at them and try to think about what is going to be the output. This is something very important when it comes to the midterm, the one we're going to have. Okay. You will see something similar to this. I will give you some type of nested loops, and I'm going to ask you what is going to be the output. So I want you to take a look at these examples, think about the output, and then after you think about it, write it down, and then try to test it in the program.